Definiteness of purpose is the foundation upon which all achievement rests, and Napoleon Hill emphasized it more than almost any other principle. The idea is simple in wording yet profound in execution. Success begins with having a clear, specific, and burning goal. Without it, a person drifts like a ship without a rudder, tossed by circumstances, opinions, and distractions. With it, even the most daunting obstacles can be transformed into stepping stones toward achievement. When one speaks of definiteness of purpose, it is not just about having vague dreams or wishes. It is about narrowing focus to one major objective, a purpose so clear that it becomes a guiding light for every thought, action, and decision. A man or woman with a clear goal is like a magnet pulling opportunities, resources, and people into alignment with that purpose. Many people never reach their true potential because they live reactively. They want many things at once: wealth, recognition, health, freedom, and comfort, but fail to commit to a single burning desire that organizes their actions. Hill warned against scattering energy in too many directions because divided attention rarely yields significant achievement. The power of definiteness of purpose lies in its ability to concentrate effort. Imagine sunlight passing through a magnifying glass. When diffused, it provides warmth but little more. When concentrated, it can ignite fire. In the same way, a focused purpose takes ordinary effort and transforms it into extraordinary results. To cultivate definiteness of purpose, one must begin by asking difficult and honest questions. What do I truly want above all else? What single achievement would bring meaning to my life? What am I willing to dedicate years of persistence toward, even when the path is hard? These questions demand clarity, not just wishful thinking. Wanting to be successful is vague. Desiring to build a business that empowers 10,000 people to achieve financial independence within 5 years is definite. One is a dream, the other is a purpose. Definite purpose acts like a filter, eliminating distractions and guiding daily actions toward what matters most. Every decision, large or small, can then be tested against this purpose. Does it bring me closer to my goal, or does it pull me further away? Napoleon Hill also tied definiteness of purpose to desire. A clear goal without deep desire is merely a wish. A burning desire transforms that purpose into something emotionally charged, something that grips the subconscious mind and drives action even when external motivation fades. The difference between a weak desire and a burning one is the difference between dabbling in something and committing your entire being to its pursuit. When a person defines their purpose and attaches strong emotion to it, they awaken a powerful creative force within themselves. They begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles. They find reserves of persistence when others quit. Definiteness of purpose also sharpens imagination. With a clear goal in mind, the brain begins to generate ideas and strategies that move one closer to that outcome. For example, an aspiring author with the definite purpose of publishing a best-selling novel within 3 years will notice story ideas, publishing trends, and writing opportunities more readily than someone with only a vague desire to write someday. The definite purpose acts like a lens that focuses perception, allowing the subconscious mind to collect and organize information relevant to the goal. This is why Hill insisted that definiteness of purpose not only directs conscious effort, but also harnesses the immense power of the subconscious mind. Another critical aspect of definiteness of purpose is that it inspires faith and confidence. Uncertainty breeds doubt, but clarity produces conviction. When one knows exactly what they want and why, hesitation diminishes. People respond to this clarity as well. Leaders who are definite in their aims naturally attract followers, supporters, and collaborators. There is something magnetic about certainty. Others sense it and want to be part of it. Conversely, indecision repels opportunities because people are reluctant to invest in someone who does not know their own direction. The concept also extends to personal growth. A definite purpose provides not just external achievement, but internal structure. It gives meaning to discipline, persistence, and sacrifice. Without a purpose, discipline feels like punishment and obstacles feel meaningless. With a purpose, every difficulty becomes part of the journey, every sacrifice a worthy investment. It changes how one interprets adversity. Challenges are not dead ends, but temporary tests of commitment. Because the purpose is definite, setbacks cannot shake the overall trajectory. This mindset is essential for long-term achievement because no great accomplishment comes without obstacles. Furthermore, definiteness of purpose is inseparable from service to others. Hill repeatedly stressed that selfish goals rarely produce lasting success. True purpose usually involves creating value for others, whether through products, services, knowledge, or inspiration. When a goal aligns with the betterment of others, it gains moral strength and long-term sustainability. A purpose driven solely by greed or vanity often collapses once external circumstances change. In contrast, a purpose rooted in contribution continues to inspire and grow because it resonates with something larger than the individual. It is also worth noting that definiteness of purpose must be supported by organized planning. A goal, no matter how clear, remains wishful until broken down into actionable steps. A definite purpose acts as the North Star, but daily plans are the compass guiding one toward it. For instance, a person whose definite purpose is to become a top motivational speaker within 5 years must create sub-goals, developing communication skills, studying great speakers, writing content, building networks, and gaining stage experience. Without such a plan, even a definite purpose risks becoming stagnant. The history of great achievers demonstrates this principle repeatedly. Thomas Edison's definite purpose was to harness electricity for practical use, and his persistence through thousands of experiments flowed from that clarity. Henry Ford's definite purpose was to build affordable cars for ordinary people, and this vision guided his innovations in assembly line production. In each case, success was not accidental. It was the result of a definite purpose pursued with burning desire, unwavering faith, and relentless action. Definiteness of purpose also builds resilience against distractions and societal pressure. In modern life, countless voices compete for attention, trends, advertisements, opinions, and demands from others. A person without a definite purpose is easily swayed, chasing one opportunity after another without consistency. They may start many projects but finish none. They may work hard yet achieve little of lasting value. In contrast, someone with a definite purpose remains steady amid noise. They know where they are going, and so they cannot be diverted for long. They evaluate new opportunities not by excitement alone, but by alignment with their purpose. Finally, definiteness of purpose provides a sense of fulfillment. Many people achieve things yet feel empty because their efforts were scattered or misaligned with their deeper desires. True satisfaction comes when one sets a definite purpose that resonates with personal values and then steadily progresses toward it. Even before the goal is fully achieved, the mere act of living with direction brings a sense of meaning and empowerment. One wakes each day with intention, works with focus, and rests knowing that every effort contributes to something significant. Definiteness of purpose, then, is not a lofty idea meant only for philosophers or business magnates. It is a practical principle that anyone can apply. It requires reflection to identify what truly matters, courage to commit to a single aim, and persistence to pursue it in the face of obstacles. Yet once embraced, it transforms scattered energy into focused power and turns ordinary lives into extraordinary journeys. It is the first and perhaps most essential step in Napoleon Hill's philosophy of success, because without it, no other principle has direction. With it, every other principle gains purpose, momentum, and meaning. Faith and autosuggestion are twin forces that Napoleon Hill described as vital to the process of turning thoughts into reality. Faith, in his philosophy, is not merely religious belief or passive optimism, but an active state of mind that can be cultivated, strengthened, and directed. It is the unwavering confidence that what one desires will, with persistent action, eventually come into being. Autosuggestion, on the other hand, is the mechanism through which faith is built. By repeatedly feeding the mind with positive affirmations, visualizations, and commands, one programs the subconscious to accept those ideas as truth, and once accepted, the subconscious begins to influence thoughts, decisions, and behaviors to align with those beliefs. Together, faith and autosuggestion form a feedback loop. Affirmations and visualizations build faith, and faith makes the affirmations more believable, which in turn strengthens the subconscious conviction that success is inevitable. Hill insisted that every great achievement is first born in the imagination, but that imagination alone is not enough. The mind must be conditioned to believe deeply in the possibility of success, because without belief, doubt and fear creep in. Doubt paralyzes action and undermines persistence, while faith gives rise to courage and determination. The subconscious mind, according to Hill, does not differentiate between positive and negative instructions. It accepts what it is fed most consistently. If one continually speaks of failure, misfortune, and limitation, the subconscious accepts these as commands and works to manifest them. Conversely, if one deliberately plants affirmations of success, abundance, and capability, the subconscious accepts these as true and begins to align thoughts and behavior accordingly. Autosuggestion is the tool for planting these seeds deliberately, instead of leaving the subconscious to absorb negative ideas from external influences. Faith is often misunderstood as something a person either has or does not have, but Hill emphasized that it can be developed like a muscle. Just as physical strength is built through repeated exercise, faith grows through repeated positive suggestion and the habit of focusing on constructive thoughts. A person who wakes each day and repeats statements like, "I am capable of achieving my definite purpose," or "wealth and opportunity are flowing into my life," is not engaging in wishful thinking, but rather in training the subconscious to accept new realities. Over time, these repeated affirmations replace old, limiting beliefs, just as new habits replace old ones through practice. The subconscious mind is most receptive when emotions are involved, which is why Hill stressed that affirmations should be spoken with feeling, imagination, and visualization. Dry words have little effect, but statements charged with desire and emotion penetrate deeply into the subconscious. The role of faith in this process is transformative. With faith, one develops resilience in the face of setbacks. Faith tells a struggling entrepreneur that the current obstacle is temporary and that success is certain if effort continues. Without faith, the same obstacle becomes a justification to quit. Faith transforms effort into persistence and fear into action. It gives one the courage to make decisions, to take risks, and to stand firm against criticism or doubt from others. When the inner conviction is strong enough, external resistance loses its power. Hill observed that nearly all successful people possessed an almost unreasonable belief in their vision, often long before others recognized its value. That belief was not an accident. It was cultivated through autosuggestion and the deliberate building of faith. Autosuggestion operates most effectively when tied to a definite purpose and backed by desire. It is not enough to repeat random positive statements. They must be connected to the central goal one has chosen. For example, if someone's definite purpose is to build financial independence, their autosuggestion practice might include daily affirmations such as, "I am building wealth through persistent effort," or "I attract opportunities that increase my financial freedom." Each affirmation reinforces the central purpose and strengthens the belief that it can be achieved. When this belief takes root, the subconscious begins to guide actions toward opportunities, resources, and decisions that align with that affirmation. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because the mind, once convinced of something, works tirelessly to make it true. The practical application of autosuggestion requires discipline. Hill advised repeating affirmations multiple times a day, ideally upon waking and before sleep, because these are times when the subconscious is most receptive. Visualization should accompany the affirmations, where one imagines in vivid detail the desired outcome as though it were already real. The brain cannot easily distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones, so visualization combined with affirmations builds neural pathways and emotional associations that strengthen belief. Over time, these practices replace doubt with confidence and hesitation with boldness. Skeptics may dismiss autosuggestion as mere positive thinking, but Hill drew a distinction between idle wishing and purposeful mental conditioning. Positive thinking alone does little without belief and action, but autosuggestion, when linked to faith and definite purpose, becomes a tool for reprogramming the mind. It is similar to planting seeds in fertile soil. A person cannot simply hope for a harvest. They must plant seeds, water them consistently, and protect them from weeds. Affirmations are the seeds, emotions and visualization are the water, and discipline is the protection from negative influences. In time, these seeds grow into deep-rooted beliefs that shape behavior. The interplay between faith and autosuggestion also extends to overcoming fear. Hill identified fear as one of the greatest enemies of success: fear of poverty, fear of criticism, fear of failure, even fear of success. These fears lodge in the subconscious and sabotage effort if left unchecked. Autosuggestion provides a means to dislodge these fears and replace them with empowering beliefs. For example, repeating statements like, "I am courageous and persistent," gradually weakens the subconscious grip of fear and strengthens the habit of courage. Faith is the state of mind that develops when the subconscious has accepted enough positive suggestions to drown out the voice of fear. Historical examples demonstrate this principle in action. Inventors like the Wright brothers faced ridicule and skepticism, yet their faith in flight was unshakable. They continually visualized and affirmed the possibility of manned flight, and their faith guided them through countless failures until they succeeded. Entrepreneurs like Andrew Carnegie or Henry Ford practiced autosuggestion by holding firm mental pictures of the success they sought, refusing to accept contrary opinions or setbacks as final. Their faith was not blind optimism, it was the product of deliberate conditioning of the mind to accept success as inevitable. On a personal level, the practice of faith and autosuggestion can transform ordinary experiences. A student preparing for an exam might use affirmations such as, "I understand and retain all that I study," coupled with daily study habits. Over time, the student begins to believe in their capacity, which reduces anxiety and increases performance. A professional seeking advancement might visualize themselves in a leadership role, affirming their competence and ability until their confidence compels others to recognize their potential. These are not mystical processes, but practical applications of conditioning the mind to expect success, which in turn influences behavior in ways that produce success. The key is consistency. Autosuggestion is not effective if practiced sporadically or without conviction. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, mental conditioning requires daily repetition. Many people abandon affirmations too soon, claiming they do not work, when in fact they have not persisted long enough for the subconscious to accept the new belief. Faith takes time to build, just as it takes time for a seed to sprout. Yet once established, faith becomes a powerful inner resource, an unwavering conviction that propels one forward despite temporary defeats. Faith and autosuggestion together create an inner environment that fosters success. Faith provides the emotional power, while autosuggestion provides the method of instilling belief. Without faith, affirmations remain hollow words. Without autosuggestion, faith is difficult to sustain in the face of daily challenges. But when used together, they create a resilient mindset, a subconscious program that drives thoughts, emotions, and actions toward the definite purpose one has chosen. Napoleon Hill's insight was that the human mind is both the greatest obstacle and the greatest asset in the pursuit of success. By mastering faith and autosuggestion, one learns to turn the mind into an ally, ensuring that it works for rather than against the pursuit of a better life. Persistence, self-discipline, and controlled attention are the engines that transform desire into reality. Napoleon Hill argued that while clarity of purpose and faith provide direction and confidence, it is persistence that carries a person through the inevitable trials of the journey. Self-discipline ensures that effort is consistent and guided rather than wasted on impulse, and controlled attention allows one to focus mental and physical energy on what truly matters. These three elements, working together, form the bedrock of sustained achievement. Without persistence, even the clearest goals remain unrealized. Without discipline, effort becomes scattered. Without controlled attention, the mind wanders to distractions, weakening progress. Persistence is the quality that separates those who dream from those who achieve. It is the refusal to quit, no matter how many setbacks appear. Hill observed that many people give up at the first sign of difficulty, convinced that obstacles mean they are on the wrong path. Yet in reality, obstacles are part of every worthwhile endeavor. Persistence is the ability to see beyond the immediate difficulty and hold fast to the larger vision. A person who persists refuses to accept temporary defeat as permanent failure. They rise after every fall, learn from each mistake, and continue pressing forward. History provides countless examples. Thomas Edison endured thousands of failed experiments before inventing the practical light bulb, and his persistence was as important as his intellect. He famously remarked that he had not failed, but rather discovered thousands of ways that would not work. This mindset of persistence transforms setbacks into lessons rather than dead ends. Self-discipline complements persistence by ensuring that one stays on the chosen path even when temptations or emotions threaten to pull them away. Discipline is the ability to control impulses, delay gratification, and align actions with long-term goals rather than short-term desires. Many people know what they should do, but struggle to follow through because they lack discipline. They may intend to save money, yet spend impulsively. They may wish to build health, yet indulge in habits that undermine it. Self-discipline bridges the gap between intention and execution. It is the daily practice of doing what must be done even when one does not feel like it. This is not about harsh self-denial, but about consciously directing behavior toward chosen ends. Discipline is a form of self-respect, an acknowledgement that one's goals are worthy of effort and sacrifice. Controlled attention is the third essential element, and it refers to the ability to direct the mind toward a single purpose without being constantly diverted. The modern world is full of distractions, notifications, entertainment, competing responsibilities, and endless noise. A mind that cannot concentrate is a mind that cannot achieve. Hill emphasized that concentration of effort is essential to success because scattered energy produces weak results. Controlled attention means deliberately deciding what deserves focus and then keeping that focus steady. This is not merely about working hard, but about working with precision. A person may expend great effort, but achieve little if their attention is divided across too many unrelated tasks. Controlled attention ensures that every ounce of energy serves the definite purpose one has chosen. These three qualities reinforce each other. Persistence requires discipline, because without discipline, one cannot maintain steady effort. Discipline requires persistence because setbacks can tempt a person to abandon their principles. Controlled attention requires both persistence and discipline because the ability to focus over long periods demands inner strength and the will to keep returning to the task at hand. Together, they create a cycle of power. Persistence sustains effort, discipline shapes that effort into productive habits, and controlled attention channels it toward the goal. One of the most overlooked aspects of persistence is that it is not blind stubbornness. True persistence is flexible. It means holding to the goal, but being willing to adjust the plan. A rigid person may insist on repeating the same failed method, mistaking inflexibility for persistence. Hill taught that persistence should be coupled with imagination and feedback. When one approach fails, the persistent person looks for another, learning from each attempt and adapting until success is achieved. The ability to persist while adjusting strategies is what differentiates ultimate success from wasted effort. Self-discipline, similarly, is not about punishment, but about freedom. It liberates a person from the tyranny of impulse and inconsistency. A disciplined person is not a slave to whims or moods, but instead acts according to conscious choice. This sense of control builds confidence. For example, someone who disciplines themselves to wake early and dedicate time to study or creative work develops trust in their own reliability. Over time, this trust in oneself compounds, creating a powerful sense of self-mastery. Without discipline, talent and ambition are squandered. With it, even modest abilities can be magnified into great achievements. Controlled attention also plays a critical role in shaping the subconscious mind. What one focuses on repeatedly becomes dominant in thought, and what dominates thought eventually influences action. If attention is scattered on negative influences, fears, and doubts, the subconscious accepts these as commands and undermines effort. If attention is controlled and directed toward positive images, affirmations, and constructive ideas, the subconscious aligns with those aims and supports progress. Focus is not merely practical, it is also psychological. It strengthens belief, sharpens decision-making, and reduces anxiety by eliminating the overwhelm of too many competing thoughts. An example of these principles working in harmony can be seen in the life of athletes. An Olympic runner, for instance, must persist through years of training, injuries, and failures. Discipline ensures that they maintain strict routines of diet, exercise, and rest. even when easier options are available. Controlled attention keeps their mind centered on the goal of peak performance, shutting out distractions and doubts. Without persistence, they would quit after an injury. Without discipline, they would falter in preparation. Without controlled attention, they would be overwhelmed by competition or fear. It is the combination that leads to victory. In daily life, these qualities can be applied in countless ways. A student pursuing a degree must persist through difficult classes, discipline themselves to study regularly, and control attention during hours of focused work. An entrepreneur must persist through financial setbacks, discipline themselves to manage resources wisely, and control attention by avoiding unnecessary projects that dilute effort. Even in personal development, persistence, discipline, and focus are necessary to form new habits, overcome negative tendencies, and grow into one's best self. The challenge is that persistence, discipline, and controlled attention are often hardest to practice precisely when they are most needed. When difficulties mount, persistence feels exhausting. When temptations arise, discipline feels restrictive. When distractions multiply, controlled attention feels impossible. Yet these are the moments when practicing these qualities matters most. Hill believed that persistence is often the last key that opens the door to success. Many quit when the breakthrough is just beyond the next obstacle. The habit of persisting a little longer, of maintaining discipline when it is most inconvenient, of holding attention steady when the mind wants to wander, often separates those who achieve from those who fall short. Another important dimension of persistence and discipline is their relationship to time. Success is rarely immediate. It is the cumulative result of small actions repeated consistently. A person who practices piano for 30 minutes a day may see little progress in a week, but will see transformation in a year. A business owner who makes a small but steady effort to expand their network will eventually see opportunities multiply. Persistence ensures that effort continues long enough to produce results. Discipline ensures that those efforts are directed toward productive actions rather than wasted on distractions. Controlled attention ensures that energy is not diluted, but channeled into what matters most. Napoleon Hill's insights remind us that desire and belief, while essential, are insufficient without the sustained application of effort. Persistence is the habit of refusing to quit. Discipline is the habit of refusing to deviate, and controlled attention is the habit of refusing to be distracted. These habits do not appear overnight, but must be cultivated deliberately. They require practice, setbacks, and conscious renewal. Yet once established, they create a powerful momentum that makes achievement almost inevitable. They transform the pursuit of success from a fragile wish into a durable process, one that can withstand storms, temptations, and distractions until the goal is achieved.